Another episode of Otakus of South Florida. I'm your host, the Silverback Senpai, and joining me is my co-host, Waluigi. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hello again, long time no see, folks. We just have Otakufest last night, well, last weekend, and definitely can't wait to pick up on these topics today.
And next up, we have Coco VLL.
Hi, I'm Coco. I'm a 20-year-old cosplayer and wig stylist from Miami.
And last but not least, our new guest.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm Vanillman on IG, and I'm just a cosplayer with a cool dog.
Alrighty, well, this is the first time that we're doing this live, so yeah, let me just go ahead and silence my phone because
I left my phone.
What even is that?
Metal Gear Solid.
Ooh.
I love it.
But
Ooh.
all right, so Otaku Fest was this past weekend, and I've had an awesome time. Like, I cannot complain. The time that I've had meeting everyone, meeting you guys, and it's been such a very long time since we've last saw each other. Like, I think the last time I saw Coco was Anime EY back in 2019. Because you weren't at Super FanCon.
No, I didn't go to Super Fan. I was thinking about it. I was like, nah, there'll be other cons, and I was very.
Yeah, I just saw you last week, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me and AJ met in person for the first time last week. He was dropping off my stuff.
Yeah, and then I checked out her. If y'all haven't followed me on Instagram or on Facebook, I posted the photos of everybody or all the photos that I've taken. And Coco, you cosplayed as Faust from Guilty Gear and nailed it. Nailed it.
I was stunned.
Thank you. It took like super. Okay, it didn't take long. It was very stressful. There we go. That's the word. Because like, I was super busy with work, and I had to do everything in like 3 days. I dyed clothes one day. The next day, I had to paint the stuff, and I had my husband help make the scalpel and bag in in a matter of 3 days. But yeah, it was worth it. It came out awesome. I'm happy.
It took me like 5 days total. No, 4 days total to make everything.
Oh my god.
The determination.
What about you, Alex? Who did you cosplay as?
Frankly, I try to go for like niche cosplay stuff because I did try to fly under the radar, but I went as Lilia Van Roge from Twisted Wonderland, and I went as Appel Filmier from Twisted Wonderland as well. So those are pretty. I didn't make anything myself because they have really complicated costumes. I kind of just got them off of Doki Doki, which is great. But it was pretty hot that day, so I don't think those costumes were the best. Like, it was so hot that the hot glue on my belt melted.
Oh, wait, what?
You're lying.
Like, I got home and I was taking it off, and I was like, why is this so sticky? And I noticed, like, the Velcro I had added was just melting right off.
Oof.
Oh, I feel pain.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. But it was fun.
Perfect.
I liked the cosplay. Like, I didn't even, like, I don't even say it's like, I don't care if it's, like, something popular. As long as I feel good, that's really all that matters.
Preach.
Yeah. So what was y'all thoughts on Otaku Fest overall? Like, you guys want to talk about each of the days or just the entire event? Or, like, what was y'all overall thoughts? Because I had a really great time. Saturday was really good. Like, I would say Saturday was, like, the best because that's when you just saw everybody for the first time. And it's like, oh my goodness, it's been so long. I have not seen you in such a long time. How are you? And you're just catching up with people. And as time progresses, more people started coming into the con. And it was that feeling of reconnecting with people that you have not seen in a while. Even though you keep in touch with them on, of course, on Instagram or other places of social media. It's just, now that you're here, like the place where you guys met, now you're back, and now it's just like you're continuing where you kind of left off at.
For me, it was like a very not humbling, but more like it was a really nice experience to see everybody again. It was like, after not seeing people for like over a year or so, just reconnecting with everybody. Otakufest definitely exceeded my expectations with cleanliness and taking all the safety precautions, especially with like masks and like the temperatures and the sanitation. It just went out of the water for me. It was really great.
Okay.
I thought like Otaku Fest personally has always been one of those cons that I've always had a great time at. So I did go in with pretty high expectations, especially since I know Winji personally. So I was pretty comfortable just knowing that Winji had control over things because I had trusted him and his staff to, really be on top of the whole like CDC guidelines. And when I went in, I was pretty surprised. Like my expectations were completely exceeded. That they were doing such a great job. Of course, there were times where like people are gonna be stupid and like try and bypass the laws or whatever, but they were pretty on top of that really quickly. Like I saw staff like patrolling those halls like damn parasites. Like I don't think I was in a group more than 5 people where they were like, "Hey, you spread out."
No, I went to
I
the
thought they were
game.
doing a great job
Sorry.
in regards to that. As for people like meeting people, like all the people I talked to, thankfully live really close to me, so I have like seen them once or twice. Like Coco lives like 5 minutes away from me, so
Yeah.
but seeing all my other friends, it was pretty nice. So it was great to like come back together again.
Okay. What about you, Luigi?
I was only there Sunday because I had some class Saturday, unfortunately, but the experience was really great. Definitely glad because I see you almost every month. Coco I saw last week. And then most of my friends that I haven't seen, it was great reconnecting and especially meeting new people. Especially the event we actually did yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you guys haven't seen it, you guys definitely need to watch episode 20. It was really good. Especially you guys as being our guests as well.
Yeah, like doing the podcast at Otaku Fest because, like, Waluigi, you and I already know we've talked about it and we discussed like so many times, and I'm just like, bro, I don't know how we're gonna do it. And then the day that you came and you finally saw how spacious the room was, I was like, woo, we got a lot to work with.
Was so big.
Like, we literally thought of a plan in less than 20 minutes.
It was really awesome.
Yeah, because we're so used to setting up at Flynn's Arcade, and we just have our setup. It was like, okay, we got to make a way where, of course, the camera's got to be on us, and the camera's got to be on the people as well, especially people coming up to, sit down or stand up and, talk with us about the topics that we were talking about. Like, we've done it so much, it's like we can kind of think and adjust on the fly, and then just make it happen and make it work. And now looking back at the podcast and checking the audio and everything, I was like, man, we got it right the first time, because what people don't understand, what people don't get and understand, like the reason why I was so nervous was, one, is everything gonna be okay, like video and audio wise, because that's the main thing that was like bugging me out, because when it comes to podcasts, you want to get it right once. You got one chance to get it right.
And we had so many setbacks.
Yeah. Like in the past, previous podcasts would have like maybe audio issues, the audio maybe dipping in and out. Sometimes the video didn't completely record all the way. It sucked.
Oh yeah, power outage. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it sucked, but it gives us that experience of, okay, this is what we need to do better next time. So that way, in the event where we're confronted with another situation like that, or the setting, then we know what to do. When we did the 8-man podcast, I know I'm going on a different topic or whatnot. When we did 8-man podcast, that was insane.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
I lost sleep.
So when it came to like the microphone positioning, the camera positioning, that was like I had to figure all that out in my head and be like, I need to make this work. And lo and behold, we made it work in less than
20 minutes.
Yeah, less than 20 minutes.
Like 10 minutes for the software, 10 minutes for the share, and we added an extra few seconds just to make sure everybody is here.
Yeah.
And definitely, I thank you guys for also being guests, because that like my heart.
You guys are awesome. I'll do anything for you guys. I gotta put the sticker on my car. I have it on my nightstand.
Nice.
Yeah, you're the first person I gave like limited edition stickers to.
The way I
And I
finessed
didn't
you, I
get
was
a
like,
sticker?
fun. They're
Say
on
again?
the table,
I didn't get
Stinky.
a sticker.
Oh my god! Don't make me come back to my. Don't make me come back down to Miami now to get you a sticker. I don't
Yeah,
feel
damn
like-
right.
I finessed
No.
I'll put
AJ.
it on my cup.
I was like, he was like, oh, I brought these stickers for the podcast at 11. I'm like, oh, let me see. And he pulls down like yoink. He pulled out.
Okay, to be
And
fair,
I was like,
I had
yoink.
a photo shoot to go right after that podcast. So,
Oh, okay.
Mm,
I ran.
So next event, I'll bring a sticker just for you.
Thank you.
But also going back to the con experience, it's pretty fun because I also convinced my neighbor to cosplay in a week before the convention. People love his Itachi, and a lot of people stopped him for some pictures along with his girlfriend who also did Itachi.
Oh my god.
I was
That's
cracking
cool.
up because I lost him for the first like 3 hours of the whole segment.
How do you lose somebody in 3 hours?
Then we tailgated before the competition. That was hilarious. He's like, "Do you listen to Metallica?" I'm like, "Excuse me."
Oh.
And I'm drinking beer before we even actually get started, and I couldn't take it seriously.
Oh, we got some people in the chat. Lou Carrion says, just saying hello from Miami, and Wingy is GOAT. DGK in the chat says, yo, what's up, guys? Also, hi, Coco. It's been so long. Tell her I said hi. And
Hi.
and we already
My
spoke about
guy.
like how Otakufest was. Like it was great for me. Like my biggest focus was the podcast. That was like my biggest focus in making sure that it ran well, it was smooth, and now thinking back on it, like I ain't gonna front. I was at least expecting 5 to maybe 9 people at best at the podcast, like people coming up and showing up. But I've been keeping count, and it's been up to 20. I was like, wow.
I saw this, and I'm just like, this wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Like,
Freestyled the hell out of that in the beginning.
like I wasn't, and I had to keep a straight face and can continue going on with the show and whatnot. And then afterwards, I had to like take a moment and be like, bro, I just had an event. 20 people showed up, even though if they didn't stay that long or whatnot. The fact that they came, they heard us and whatnot, that meant a lot to me. And it just goes to show that if you're ever working on something and people see that progress that you're making, keep going, because you'll never know who's gonna support you at the long run. Who's gonna be like, yo, I see you doing your thing. Yeah, you're tripping, you're making mistakes or whatnot, but you're not giving up. You're still pushing through, and that day literally solidified that for myself and Waluigi.
That's like a milestone that we did not expect to have. Especially the fact that was our first panel. Like, legitimately, I've never done a panel. I've been to a couple.
Yeah.
And I love how my impression was, hey, you're all beautiful. If you say something else, shut up.
Oh my god. I'm so happy and proud of you guys.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
did
you.
such a great job.
Thank
My
you.
heart is hurting for all the kindness.
All right. So now so with all the good mushy stuff out the way, I want to talk about the
Let's
things
get
that
right to the elephant in the room.
not yet.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
I still want to talk about the good stuff that happened, and some of the stuff is the one thing I don't miss about cons, even though I appreciate it now, is being on your feet for such a long period of time.
Oh, I wore boots. I was so happy.
Don't get me started. Please, God, don't get me started. I was wearing heeled boots for 2 days in a row.
I was vibing.
I
Yeah, because you were
was just
wearing
vibing.
No, okay, I think because I'm used to it at my job, because I'm always like running back and forth. I think I'm used to it. But like I was vibing. I think it was the con high, to be honest. Like con high when you're at a con, you're like, you forget to eat the whole day.
Yes,
and like
that
once
was
you
me.
get to the car, you're like, oh.
This is my neighbor, Alex.
What's going on?
Hi.
This is the guy I was telling you
So
about.
on Puerto Rican.
Alex!
I'm here for it.
At this point, I might as well just unplug it.
No, I'll unplug it.
Wait, no, so you can hear it.
Yeah, I want them to be able to hear me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm too.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, fix your audio.
I My audio's factored. Oh my god.
Is your audio okay? Because we can hear you guys.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now your camera's gone.
He died.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Hey, Eddie, what's going on in the chat from Flynn's Arcade? But yeah, like, I did not miss being on my feet for such a long period of time, but I agree with you, Coco, that when you have that con high, you forget to eat.
So
You
can hear
forget
me
about the
here.
pain in your feet,
Okay, cool.
and you're just like
Yeah.
constantly walking, constantly moving because you never know what's around the next corner. Ooh, someone has a good cosplay, or ooh, something awesome is happening over there, or you just don't know, and you're just like constantly walking, constantly moving, and it's like I need to stop and eat something before I pass out throughout this because of this excitement.
No, yeah. Like when that whole I probably ate like once that whole time. Like oh, thank God the onigiri stand is there because I'll be like, oh my God, I want one, and then I'll eat it. I'm like, wait, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm
We
gonna
get
die.
KFC that one time.
Yeah, we got KFC. Like during when I was judging the contest, Adam got KFC.
What? What, Uber Eats, or he left it to go get it?
No, Uber Eats. My only complaint about what happened this weekend. Well, I'll be super specific in my Uber details instructions. Like, go to the back of the convention center, not the hotel. Call if you need me. Blah 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 blah. And then they'll be like, "Where am I?
Can't go through.
I can't go through." It's like, tell the people you're with Uber Eats, show it, and they're like, "No, come to the front of the hotel." So I had to walk my happy ass all the way to the front of the hotel, and then be like, "Give me my food." But yeah, it was good. It was worth it.
I feel like that's kind of the same energy as when I went to work and we were like closed like really early, and some guy still was knocking on the door. My supervisor went to ask what was wrong, and he was still trying to order a frappuccino at the door, even though we were closed.
Me at my job.
I'm like, dude, we're closed. Go away.
It'll be like,
okay, go ahead.
sorry, it will be like 3 a.m. and they'll be like, I want cookies, and it's like, please, we're sold out. I don't care. I want cookies.
So, what merch or what stuff did you guys buy at the con? Because I bought a lot of stuff, mainly Power Ranger stuff.
I got this sweater and
All my stuff is scattered in my bedroom, but
this sweater.
wow,
And
little convention hall. Oh no, you did not.
Nice.
I did.
Well,
I
I would
got
say
like
the
a
one
throwback.
thing that I am proud of that I got. Hold on. Making sure I don't trip any wires. The one thing that I am so proud of that I got is this.
Oh my God, Vin got it too. You know Vin?
Yeah. Now I gotta frame it and put it somewhere. I might put it in my
Oh,
bedroom.
goodness. Oh, wow.
The missus may not like it, but she'll be
Oh,
alright.
he's back.
Yes,
I got this T-shirt. I saw it, I'm like, I need it, and the guy's like $33. I'm like, fine,
Woo!
take it.
That
It's
is
a
painful.
Japanese import. Like the guy was like, I was talking to the owner of the stand, and he was like, yeah, I'm from Japan. Like he just told me his whole life story. I was like, hee T-shirt, please. But I got this shirt. I got this shirt. I got a Berserk book bag. Some nice charms from the Artist Alley. What else did I get? A hoodie. I spent like $200 in
You
one day.
bought the whole con.
I got the whole con because like I was thirsty. I needed it. But yeah,
Shoot,
it's been
I
so
think-
long.
Yeah, like I think I way overspent on this con because it has been so long. Because I got that poster. I bought a bunch of Power Ranger Megazords because I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers. What else?
Who isn't?
Yeah.
How much you spent the whole weekend?
I would say
Probably like around
Clo-
$300.
close to 400 for me.
Oh my god.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, close to 400.
I spent maybe $70.
I spent like $45.
And I was like, I think I way overdid it because usually I try to spend at least below the 200s, but I could not resist passing up them Power Ranger Megazords because one, they're hard to find.
Ooh.
4 of them are very hard to find, especially with all the parts intact, and the other 2 are expensive to get. So I had a good deal. I said I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna try to refine them, bring it back to life like to its original the best way I can. And if someone makes me a really, really good offer years down the road, I may sell it. That's the intent.
Nice.
I got so much things, man.
Eddie, you spent $10.
I spent like 50, $65. I lied. Because I bought some stuff from Geeky Robots. I got a bunch of stickers. Then I saw this like really, really parody of Krusty Krab, or Mr. Krabs extra trick saying, "Gotta see my Krusty," and I couldn't stop laughing at it, so I bought it for like $5.
Oh my goodness. There's this one print shop that was like doing a special of like 4 for like 35, and like I was looking for like, there's no, okay, I love Silent Hill. Pyramid Head is my husbando. I love him to death. I found one thing. I only found one thing in the whole convention. It was a print. I was like, give me. Like, okay.
You go.
I'm sorry?
No, go.
Okay. So like for the prints I got a Doomslayer print, a Pyramid Head print. I forgot the other 2.
Okay, coast clear. I think I should lock the back door.
Those are the important ones.
I went into Otakufest being like, I'm gonna finally get me some Genshin Impact merch. That fucking game has ruined my life. And I'm
Genshin
like,
Impact?
I want Genshin Impact merch. That game has been out for maybe 6 months. There needs to be something. I go in there, nothing. Not a zilch. Not even a sticker. I was like, are you kidding me?
Damn.
So I didn't
Nope.
get any art done. I'm so sad.
So if there's any artists or vendors that are looking to sell some merch, invest in Genshin Impact.
If you make Genshin Impact merch, I will buy your entire stock.
You heard it here first, people.
I just like something from Paimon.
If
That's
you
it.
make Eloise merch, I will buy your entire stock. No cap. I will take every single item.
Oh my god. You know how hard it was to find this girl's like birthday gifts Alois related?
I love Eloise Nancy so much. Got me a birthday letter for Eloise.
There's like no, okay. So like I love Guilty Gear, right? I don't know if you guys could tell.
Yeah, we already know.
Holy shoosh!
we know you love Guilty Gear, but
Sheesh!
Any like no Guilty Gear stuff. And but
Oof.
like I was talking to this, what's their, okay, I was talking to this one booth vendor. Sorry, there was this one vendor I was talking to. His name is, the store name is Starline Pixelations.
I've heard of him.
Oh my god, he's hooking me up with like a chibi Faust thingy.
Oh.
I screamed.
Did you try to finesse me into getting a pencil thing?
No, cause like there's no like Faust stuff. It makes no sense.
Now you know how I feel about Eloise Transky when I can't find shit.
Shut up.
I just make my things if I can't find it.
True.
That's what
can
I
ju-
do, but I
Hey,
also want
can
to
ju-
support small businesses, you know.
But he's a small business.
He is.
But
So
like,
what-
I just thought about it. I can pay you to make me Faust figures. Oh my god.
My neighbor just said earlier, I need a drink. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'd definitely be glad to.
Oh my goodness. I can die happy.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys about what was your con crunch experience if you had one. Like, before you go to an actual con, and it has been a while for all of us. There's always the con crunch. Like, you got to get stuff ready, and you got to get it done and prepared. Is it work? Is it okay? Is my wig okay? Is my outfit okay? Do I look good? Do I need to sew something here? Whatnot? Like, have you had any con crunches lately before going to Otakufest? Share.
Coco's con crunch was my con crunch, basically.
I was gonna say, I don't know how I did it without pulling my hair out. I had to do some wig commissions. Like I did my husband's Piers and Jolene wig. I also had to do my dyeing my. I had to dye my outfit because like I'm very picky with colors. I couldn't find any colors in the foul stuff. So I had to dye the pants, paint the pinstripes on the pants, dye the vest, the dress shirt, and then I coffee dyed the lab coat because it was too much of a bright white. I wanted like a dirty but not too dirty. I don't know. It's weird. But I don't know. I had a whole year to prepare and I did it in 3 days before the con. I don't know why. I don't know how. It was worth it. Thanks,
That looks
AJ.
No problem. The things I do for you, homie.
What about you, Alex? What was your con crunch if you had one?
I didn't really have a con crunch. The costumes I've had for maybe like a month prior. I think the most con crunch thing I had was putting on my makeup and Jasmine telling me to hurry up. And one of my arm warmers, the loop like broke off right when we were about to leave. So I had to like find a needle and thread to sew it back on before we went into the car.
Oh
That was
no.
about it.
Mm.
But unlike some people, I actually prepare in advance.
Shut up, because when you cosplayed overhaul, that wasn't the case. Yeah, scratch your head.
Yeah.
Okay, she's right. I did have an overall cosplay that I made a week before Hero Hype. And she watched me like hand sewing fur into a jacket for like an hour the day before.
That's brutal.
I like working on cosplays with Alex a lot because we just see each other like stress out. And what's really nice? We went to Hero Hype together. She saw me make my bison stuff, and I saw her make our overhaul stuff. And then we entered a contest together, and we won together. It was great.
That's so cute.
Nice.
I was so shook because I was like, "Oh, for Masters, Coco." I'm like, "Oh, Pog, nice." And then they call up Alex for like, what was yours?
It was novice. I was like, I spent a good 3 hours making this damn mask. I'm gonna enter it in this little rinky dinky con, and I won. And I was like, what?
It was really cool.
I
It was
was-
surprising. I was like, wait a minute, I know this girl.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, my con crunch was basically dealing with you and then just putting on makeup in the morning of Otakufest. I
Nice.
argued if I wanted to put eyeliner just to match with sage mode, or I just wanted to put a scar. I'm like, scar it up, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, my con crunch is literally just my makeup. Jasmine knows this very well because my makeup for my costumes is very intense.
I'll finish my makeup.
And it takes me like a good hour.
I finished with my makeup. I'm all dressed with my wig and everything. I'm just there in front of Alex, like.
She's done and I just start my eyeshadow.
I'm just like, oh my god.
I do need some people to teach me how to use makeup if I ever do Waluigi again.
Oh my goodness. With the prosthetic and everything?
Maybe. I didn't think this far ahead.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
My con crunch was the Solaire helmet because in order for me to, I could put on the helmet, I can't put it on with my glasses, and if I take my glasses off, I'm blind, so you're gonna have a blind person in cosplay just walking around the convention, not seeing shit. Like I can't see shit without my glasses. So I said, all right, I need to figure out for me to keep this on, but I need to still see. So I said, you know what? Let me try something. I put the helmet on, and then I would try to wiggle my glasses in through the little slots and whatnot, and then put it up there. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And they're like, fuck it, I can see. People can still recognize me with the helmet or whatnot. If you came closer, then you'll see that, yeah, I have glasses on it because I can't see without the helmet. Like,
I think you should invest in some contacts like I do.
yeah, that's going to be my
Contacts
next
are live.
purchase. Yeah, that's going to be my next purchase. That way I have
Good
contacts
luck.
only for cons.
Yeah, we love our disposable contacts.
There's somewhere over there.
Akivitas. What do I got basically?
Can we just talk about how you don't recognize me at cons at all? Saturday I walked up to you and I was like, "Hi," and you looked at me like, I'm like, "It's Coco," and you're like,
I'm
It's
guilty
okay,
for
no
that.
one ever recognizes me.
I'm guilty for that. But then
It's
again, but
fine.
remember, it's been like the last time I saw you was Anime Y, and of course, when I went, I didn't know like who's cosplaying as who because I'm just driving, making sure that I'm making the right turns and whatnot. So I didn't have time to see everyone who's gonna cosplay as what. Like if I'd known, then I'm like, okay, now I know who that is. But I'm there, and after that, I saw you walked up. I'm like, who is this person?
"Who are you?"
And then when it took me, it took me a notice. It took me a second to be like, wait, that's Adam Slushy, and so that means that's
That's
I was like,
Adam.
okay, now I know. Wow.
That's so
There's an
funny.
Adam, there's a Coco, just
Yeah.
a little bit behind.
So yeah,
And if there's a Coco, there's a me right behind her.
True. It's like a little duck train.
Now, what were y'all negative experiences at the con? I would say for me, my one negative would be Saturday's cosplay contest, waiting an hour in the line. That would be my one negative.
God, don't get me started.
Oh
Don't get
my
me
god.
started on that goddamn contest.
I'm number 32.
So, you know.
I'm wrapped around the building, and I'm just like, any day now. Like, I think they got everybody.
Yeah, for me, I have I'm very sensitive to noises and stuff because, spectrum problems. But I was number 2, so I was right next to the speakers.
Oof.
And that whole comic spiel, like, I think I would have been fine if the jokes are actually good. But just listening to people just yell into a microphone obscenities and nothing good, maybe 1 or 2 haha jokes, not to, like, drag any of the comics. I guess it really just depends on taste, but it wasn't my taste, obviously. But it was, like,
Cringy at best.
just standing next to the speakers with my head thrumming and just ladder had me nearly, like, have a whole, like, not even nearly, I had a whole sensory overload just standing in that line, and I was, like, this close from punching someone.
Yeah.
And I think it played out, because then I went on the runway. I went really fast, but apparently, like, I had, like, people saying I had good stage presence, and I was like,
Me.
good.
Me, I
guess
said
my
that.
anger went well somewhere.
You
I
waited.
saw you did really good.
You wait an hour in line just so you can go through across the stage in less than a minute.
Yeah. It's just like the cosplay chair Toby, he said that he was told that it would be at 3, so he told everyone 2:30. And then when he found out that it was like 3:30 and that they were giving the comics more time, he was just as annoyed as everybody else.
Oh god, I was like,
I mean, miscommunication happens.
bro,
I can't blame
I'm
it.
like, are y'all done with this comic section? And I'm not throwing any shade or slander to the guys that are doing the comic stand up or whatnot. I get it, but it's just if you got everybody here,
There's a time and a place.
wrap this up.
Yeah, it's kind of like that last guy who's like, one thing, and I'm like, me having been in band, skating, and dance, one more thing means 30 more minutes.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's never one last thing. There's always something more.
definitely.
My negative experience relating to, like, I think Otakufest for me was relatively really positive. I have barely any complaints. Mainly my only complaints is just some people weren't really the nicest and kind of like self-centered. Like I remember like being like waiting on the side for the runway, Like, I didn't care if I had won or lost. I was just happy to be there. But there were people, like, I think it was like a group or something, who were complaining how they weren't given enough claps or woos or whatever because they thought they deserved them more. And I was like, dude, it's a little rinky-dinky contest. Just enjoy yourself. Like, it doesn't matter if people clap. As long as you feel good, you won. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
People can't really tell the difference between for fun and just competition. And those are most people that act like that are just the wannabes and the elitists of the community that no one cares about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was my thing. Just those people weren't the greatest people to be around.
What about y'all two? AJ
Mine
and
would
Coke.
be probably the cosplay competition, I'd say. It was freaking hot. It took.
Wow, everyone's the cosplay competition.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could say bad about. Like, everything else seemed pretty.
I was the best, and I wasn't even in the competition.
That is true.
For sure. I was Itachi, the best.
Amazing.
No one says shit about me.
You didn't even cook. Well, Genjutsu. Anyways, but
I got like 10 people. Hey, can I take a picture with you? For sure. No problem. And I say yes to everybody.
better. But yeah, I only enjoyed that like couple 30 seconds for a nice picture, just so I can update my profile picture. But that's just about it. Yeah, I said it. I want to upgrade my Tinder, make it look good. Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
no cap. What about you guys? Anything else crazier?
Yeah, but
For me, it was it was Saturday night. We were everything was done. We were outside. We started taking photos like on the outside area on the wall. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what this is about.
Like, don't get me wrong, the convention, not perfect. Everything was beautiful. It's just some of the attendees really. Like, for example, I was getting at we're taking photos, whatever. Someone comes up to my friend saying like, hey, do you want to dance? And he was like, no, nothing, because there was like a DJ setup, there was like a rave, but like it was spacious, it was chill and whatever. They were just dancing. And my friend's like, no, it's okay, no thank you. And the thing is, like, he was taking photos, so it's like, con etiquette. Don't, if you see someone busy, go back later.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And then, like, not even like 2 minutes later, they come back. Like, another group of people come back asking the same thing. It's like, no, no thank you, we're kind of busy. And then they asked 2 more times, and then like the last time we were like starting to leave. Alex knows this one. I pulled her to the side. Alex, oh my god, they were about to ask us again. We were about to leave.
I just come back from a photo shoot, and I'm like, I see these girls trying to get Logan's attention. I'm not aware of the situation at all, that they had gone and harassed him like 4 other times. And I'm like, hey Logan, they want to talk to you. And Coco drags me away. She's like, shut up. It's like, Alex, I love you, but please shut up. I'll tell you later. We gotta go now. Cause like we were just like, and then we went to IHOP. And no, it's just like, people really need to get into their thick skulls that like, if someone says the first time, the other 10 times they're not gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Like, just read the room and see like, oh, they're busy. Yeah, read it. If you see they're busy, or like if they're doing something, either just ask once like, hey, are you busy? Do you want to dance? It's fine the first time. But if you ask like over and over again, it's like, no, I'm busy.
Or get the hint that she means no, as in no, it ain't gonna happen. Keep it moving.
I don't want to dance with you. I'm trying to take some pictures for the gram.
Please step off and 2-step the hell out.
I think the only other negative, this happened on Sunday. I think I told only Coco about it. I was doing a photo shoot with a super nice photographer. I will, like, when I find their user, I'll do it. And we were obviously in the middle of a photo shoot, and this group of people, like, I saw them in the corner of my eye. I thought they just wanted to sit in, like, the area, because, like, you know how on the second floor, right by the escalators, there's just, like, a lot of places to charge your phone and stuff? I was like, oh, you guys can sit, you're not interrupting anything. But they just go straight up to the photographer and ask if they can just take pictures, if he could just take pictures of them, like, right then and now. And I'm like, I am
so
obviously in the
impressive.
middle of something.
Right.
And the poor guy is so timid, and he looked at me for an answer, but I'm like, I don't want to piss like a bunch of dudes off, so I was like, sure, go. And they like took up 15 minutes of my time, and I'm like,
That's so
"Alright,
impressive.
That sucks. I'm sorry for that.
it's
Yeah.
fine." But I'm like, read your room. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I feel like that's just like regular stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Like people don't know how to common sense. Okay. Oh my god. I gotta breathe. I was in the game
We're all
room.
getting
By the
fed
way,
up.
oh my god.
I
By the
gotta hear
way,
this.
it was really nice. The game room. There's like a plexiglass protecting like the people like that are like handling the game room, like super clean. Like they'll people like I saw we were waiting. The people gave the controllers to the dude and he cleaned it and like everything was really nice, spacious and everything. So really
It was
comfy.
pretty empty in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And,
was
you know-
surprised. It didn't smell like sweat and a lack of deodorant.
Usually that's not players playing, actually.
It was
personally,
pretty chill.
Yeah, like personally for me, I kind of wish that whole glass room was still there. That used to be in the Mac. That was the game room for me. But you know, seeing the game room was empty as it was, I was kind of happy. And like when it was full, or if it ever was full, they were really on top of that whole sanitation stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
But I mean, overall, the negatives are just attendees. Really, like Otakufest in itself is great. Nothing else. No complaints.
for me when I was in the game room, I was playing with my other friends. We were playing Guilty Gear, and
I mean, why would she? Why would she not though?
it was so funny. We forgot to take a picture. I was playing Fouls as Fouls. It was awesome. And these people came into the room, and like, it was like these group of people, and they were watching us. So I'm like, okay, and they were like, you know, fanboying, like, oh my god, it's Fouls playing Fouls. Ha ha ha. I'm like, haha, okay. And like I had my helmet, like my paper bag and my scalpel on the table, and I see this dude come behind the table and was like, oh my god, look, like he grabs my thing. He grabs it without asking me. And he's like, oh my god, look what it looks just like it. And I'm like, I look at him like, can I help you? He's like, sorry. Look at her scalpel. I was like, no, this is not real. You're lying. Oh. I was like,
when that dude handed me his lightsaber when you guys were taking a picture, I'm like, I don't know you. He just shoved it into my hand, and I'm like, I'm gonna need hand sanitizer after this.
Oh my god.
I was like,
Get your crusty hands
I
off of
don't
me.
know you. Who are you? Why are you giving me this?
it's just, you know, con people. But
Yeah.
when like they asked for my
Yeah.
picture after, and like I was talking to them more, I'm like, I get it now. But still, ask, please.
Yeah.
Because, you know, what if you... This is like, remember we were talking about like the last podcast we were on, like what not to do? It just ties into it again. It's like, you know, we worked super hard on like our props and our foam pieces. And if you break it, it's like, why?
Yeah, it's kind of like I work like my major's in theater design, and the number one rule we are taught backstage is don't touch things that do not like. If you're not supposed to handle it or touch it or anything, you don't touch it. You leave it alone, because if you break that, you're gonna mess up the entire line. Like if you only work on makeup, you touch the makeup. You do not touch any light. You don't touch any system. You don't touch any clothes. Nada. So
Right.
I feel like just general common sense, where it's like if it's not yours, you don't take it. If you're not supposed to touch it, do not touch it. That rule really needs to like
Yeah.
shoved into some people.
Like, just ask.
like you're not
Yeah, it
fine.
doesn't hurt to ask.
Just ask. Because, like, my the end of the scalpel, when I was sanding it, like, I broke a piece of it on the inside. So, like, the inside was, like, a little bit wobbly. But it was still, like, solid. So I was still like had to hold it in a way where it wouldn't snap the con. But like I was when the guy picked it up, I was like, please, please don't touch it. I brought my glue gun just in case, cause you know
You never know.
you gotta bring a glue gun. But oh my god, it was that got me so angry. But I guess he apologized. But what really got me is like he picked up my helmet and was like, look at it, it looks just like. And I was like, excuse you. And he's like, oh sorry. Look at her scalpel.
That's a nightmare. That's a con nightmare.
I just want to get up and be like, "Argh!"
I wanted to just. But yeah, those are my only 2 negative experiences.
Yeah.
Everything else is flawless.
Yeah, I can't complain. All right, well, it's time for me to finally, and I mean finally, address the
Get to
big
the
ass elephant in the room. And yeah. And I'm gonna talk about prior to Otakufest, because prior to Otakufest, a lot of negativity towards the event, and then of course people scolding others for wanting to go to the event and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure the people that wanted to go to the event, they knew the risk that they were going to take, and of course you know what you're gonna get yourself into, and you'd be like, you know what, I can only be accountable for myself and my actions. I don't know what everybody else is doing, because I don't control what other people do in their own private life. I can only control what I can do. So if I see a crowd of people, walking the other way, hand sanitizer in my hands, and keeping my distance. If I'm gonna be in a group of people, it's gonna be no less than myself, I would say 5 or 6, and that's it. And I'm just going around. And it's
Yeah.
and of course throwing shade to Otakufest because they're holding the event, and I reason with them. Like I see their reasons why, and people do make a good point. But what about the point of maybe people want to go there just to see how their safety procedures are being implemented? And if, like, Otakufest isn't perfect, they're not going to have everything perfect 100% of the time. But it does give room for opportunity to, okay, this wasn't good, so we can improve on that. That wasn't good, we can improve on that. You make improvements so that way you can set an example for other cons that are going to happen later this year and be like, okay, this is how they handled it. Let me see if I can try to mirror the things that they did good, and what they didn't do good, I'll try to do better than what they did. So that way you have something that you can bounce off of with someone else and just apply that and just go along with it, because hey, we're all a community, and it takes all of us to make it work. Unfortunately, you just have those sour apples who just do a lot of complaining online, be negative, troll people. Like, I've gotten trolled, and I just told them, listen, if you're not going to show your face, don't message me. And if you're about that life, then come see me in person. That's all I'm gonna do. If you're not about that, if you're about that life, then come see me in person. If not, then keep it moving. Don't waste my time, because I'm not gonna deal with it.
People don't even live here. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're definitely right.
Yeah, I don't live in Florida. It's like,
because it's like there's
I
no
don't
need.
think it's fair to dismiss their concerns, of course, because those all their concerns about having convention in a pandemic are entirely valid. But I feel like there needs to be a place to understand where it's like, these are businesses and people do run these businesses and they use these businesses to survive. And it's like when the con chair had told Coco and I himself that he would lose tens of thousands of dollars to cancel this convention entirely, to the point where we cannot ever have another Otakufest.
Yeah.
And it's just about just surviving as a business itself. Like, I don't see this energy towards Disney opening when it's just as bad.
Yeah.
Or Marvel.
Yeah.
That's restaurants in general, it's like, to me, I feel like it's just kind of the same concept where it's like it's just a business that needs to survive in a pandemic. And they're going to do all the steps that they can to ensure that it's safe.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you're always gonna be a bad guy to someone. So it doesn't matter how good Otakufest did it, there's always gonna be someone mad.
Yeah.
And I like, and reading those comments under the Otakufest post, like I could completely understand where they were coming from, but there were some comments that were just very rude and mean. Like I swear to God, I saw one that said, "Oh, I hope everyone who goes gets COVID and dies." I was like, "What are you trying to get at? Where is this energy to like schools trying to open up and force teachers to work? Like, where's this energy for like actual things?"
I just feel like with the it's all about the communities, because like for example, Disney's Disney. No one's gonna cry and complain to Disney because like Disney's gonna be like, okay. But like for conventions, exactly, like conventions, like, you know, especially like Otaku, a smaller growing convention.
Yeah.
It's easy to target because, you know, the fan base, you know, it's just like, since it's smaller and easy to harass and target, people are just gonna go out of their way to do it. It's like, why don't you go harass, you know, the government officials? Why don't you go harass, you know, bigger businesses, malls, businesses, schools?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
but
even if
it's easy. It's way easier.
Like even if Otakufest wanted to cancel, there's a whole Ron DeSantis law that prevents them from like getting rid of their reservation for the venue. It's like, even if they wanted to, they didn't even have a choice to begin with. It was either hold it,
feel like
or
a lot of people
lose
don't do their
$10,000.
research.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do their research. They don't ask questions. They just assume and assume and assume. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And I don't like the kind of energy that they're just putting out there. Yet they're the ones on social media talking about, you know, positive vibes 24/7 all day, every day, and whatnot. And you just roll your eyes on them like, do you see the shit that you post on social media? Do you see how toxic you?
I agree with you, man.
Do you see how toxic you're being, and yet you want all the positivity? So it's nice you're being toxic to other people, but when that toxicity come back to you, oh, now you don't want to handle it. Now you want to be all positive, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-mm. And it's like the same people that'll turn around and do the same, like very hypocritical. They'll turn around and go to the mall the next day, or go out somewhere the next day, and maybe even attend Otaku Fest next year when everything's good.
Yeah.
They're just gonna complain just to complain.
Yeah, I'm just gonna laugh and be like, weren't you the one talking all that nonsense last year about Otaku Fest? They shouldn't have this and that. Yet here you are a year later. Like my reason going is one, to support Otaku Fest. That was my one reason. One is to go there. Two, to support Flynn's Arcade, and three, the podcast. And then of course everybody else, you know, having fun with everybody else and reconnecting with everyone. And then, of course, I also even got to meet people that followed me, but I've never met them. So this was their opportunity to get to meet me in person. So I'm truly grateful by that. And this was a positive for me. Yeah, I understand the risk, and I did the best of my ability to make sure that I'm safe and secure, and those in my circle are safe and secure as well. But I don't control the actions of what everybody else do. Because everybody is themselves.
Like, you can only ensure that you yourself are safe. Like, you can't be accountable for other people. You're not a babysitter for everybody. Like, for me, going into the convention, I initially went because it was my birthday weekend. Like, I went there being 19, and then the next day I was only 20, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But
old lady.
Like, I'm old. I feel it in my joints. But anyways, it's like, you can only really just take care of yourself. Like, personally,
I wish I was your age.
Costumes my costumes had gloves. I like made sure to double mask. I made sure to, like, if I was buying something or if I was interested, I always make sure not to touch anything. I would only grab something if like, you had a whole ass mask. It's like, if I was looking, I made sure not to touch anything I wasn't gonna buy, or like, if I was interested in something, I would ask the vendor directly to gesture to it so I could see it more. Like, just limiting contact. Like, I only relatively hung out with, like, Coco and, like, the people I drove to the convention with.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people
like,
are
you can only take care of yourself. You
These
can only
people
take care of
are,
yourself and just take the necessary precautions.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure now with Otakufest being done and over with, like you also have Mizukon, the people of Mizukon was there, the people of Anime Wild was there. I actually got to see one of the organizers of Super FanCon. He was there as well. So they're seeing the example of how they're running it. So they already got in their mind, okay, now we have to plan and prepare so that way whatever Otaku Festival is kind of, lacking on, we can try to improve better so that way we can keep this going. We have a new safety procedure that people will have to follow. Like, if we want the cons to survive and, and thrive and flourish so that way we can enjoy it, the vendors can enjoy it, the artists can enjoy it, then it is going to take all of us in the community to work together to make it happen and whatnot, and give the con organizers our suggestions to make the experience a lot better and of course a lot safe. Because complaining about it does nothing. It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't help anybody.
Like if you have time to complain, you have time to you have time to come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's like
simply like what Dave Chappelle said. Modern problems require modern solutions.
You're right.
Yeah. It's like Otakufest from my perspective is like the first con that I know of to really take the whole convention scene really seriously, especially with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And as being the first, you're always not going to be the best, but they did the best they can, and all they can do is lead by example.
Yeah.
And from experience, when I did go into the con, when I saw like those I don't want to name names, but like I saw one of the convention panels like for one of the cons like down the line, like I saw them at their booth eating with their masks off and talking to other people, and I'm like, dude, oh. I immediately told one of the people, and they got the con booth to immediately shut up and put their masks on, which was great. But I hope that after that situation, they can learn, like, hey, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
yeah,
do
like,
that.
yeah, let's enforce the standard so that way, everybody can abide by them, and then of course encourage everyone else to abide by the standards as well, so that way we can continue to enjoy this, these events, so that way moving forward, hey, we have a safety procedure. If everyone follows it, no problems, no issues.
No issues.
I initially went to Otakufest to see old friends again, and they invited me to be a guest, which Otakufest holds a really close place in my heart because they're very supportive. They helped me host a brunch like a year or two ago
I
for like an
remember.
anime themed brunch. It was super awesome. Wenji is a real one. He helped me host my first like event. I hosted my first panel at their convention, and it was my first time guesting at their convention too, like just guesting in general. So that convention holds a special place in my heart. And also, it's just like the owner is just so like humble and sweet, and like he takes everything so seriously and professionally. I think.
So much.
Oh my god, he was so like. He was going crazy.
Strung out.
He was like drawn out. Like we were talking to him, and like he hadn't. When we talked to him, he hadn't eaten the whole day because how much he was trying to keep up with the convention. He was trying very hard to please everybody, and I think other conventions should, take by example from what he's doing and take into account like people matter more than money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great.
I 100% agree. That's why, when it comes to leading, you have to, if you're going to be a leader of something, you're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to put yourself out there so that way people can see that, hey, I'm going to take the charge. I'm going to be the one to take the hit, so that way I can at least pave the path for everybody else to, enjoy life, to not fall in my footsteps or whatnot. So that way they can see that, hey, I'm the one that pushed forward. And now behind me is, everyone following me behind me because I'm the one taking the hit. But the people behind me, they may not see that. And few of us, we have seen that. We have seen that. And this isn't the first time Otakufest had like it really like rough started and whatnot. This is like the second time because if you remember back in 2019, there was the Hurricane Dorian and whatnot.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was still a good con, but a lot of people, bailed out because of a potential hurricane. But still, nonetheless, they went through with it, and it ended up becoming a great con. And I got that same feeling again in this year, 2020. Yeah, I can understand no cons, and it sucked because SuperCon.
Oh man, they memed the hell out of that. And I love it.
Yeah,
Every single post.
SuperCon being a dick, but trying to schedule
corporate.
Yeah, trying to schedule on the same day.
Your tickets are more expensive than a hall mat. Like, come on.
But of
I was
course,
like,
$80 for 3 days.
yeah. But neither cons happened, so I was like, okay, neither of them happened. All right, but now 2020, they're the first ones right out the door, and just paving the way for all the other cons to see that hey, they did it. They paved the way, did it the best way that they can. It ended up turning out to be a really good con, and now after the con, now you have some controversy that took place.
Wait, was that a pun intended? Controversy?
And
And
controversy
happened.
Yeah, and I got in my DMs about it how I'm not gonna go a lot in detail, but I'm just gonna say specifics so that way I don't draw out the conversation. Pretty much, there was an allegedly, and this was all hearsay. The rumor was that allegedly there were 2 people who were vendors that were allegedly COVID positive, right?
Yeah,
and the person wanted to, and the person wanted that those 2 individuals to come out publicly to say something and whatnot. They didn't, so hence why the person made the post to let people know that hey, these 2 haven't said anything publicly about it. They went to this con, and this is still hearsay because there isn't no valid proof because the people that were mentioned has not said anything about it. So now with that out there, you're kind of putting this negative vibe, negative energy on it, and it's going to be circled around Otakufest. And reactions that I've been seeing from other people in their stories or in their posts was that, see, this is the reason why you shouldn't go to Otakufest. This is the reason why you shouldn't go to a con. And you're putting that blame on Otakufest, even though the person, and I've spoken with the person already, and we're okay. Like, I've gotten to understand their position, and the person understands my position. But you're putting that negative energy onto Otakufest, even though it's not intentionally, but it's there. And
you need to say something.
Yeah, and it's and it's beginning to fester because now people are more likely to blame the con than the actual people that were allegedly had COVID positive, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's hearsay. And my thing, like my argument coming into that was, okay, 2 things, because these were my obvious 2 red flags. One was the sources, because the sources were anonymous. We're not going to reveal the identity. Yeah, we're not going to reveal the identity of the sources, but we're going to reveal the identity of the 2 alleged COVID positive people. My thing with that is, if we're going to take COVID seriously, we need to be 100% honest, and that also includes sources. We need to know the who, what, when, where, how, and why. There should not be no secrecy at all when it comes to COVID. So if you're saying someone has COVID, then we need to know where are you getting your source from. Because let's just say someone accuses any of us saying, oh, you had COVID-19, you were positive, and you'll be like, well, who told you that? Oh, some source. Who's the source? I want to know. Because you could be you could literally be setting someone up to be falsely accused of something that they had no intention of. That's one thing to look at it as. The second thing is, if you knew about this, or if your sources knew about this, why did they not tell the staff at Otakufest a day prior to the convention?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was that serious, you need to tell them ASAP, not wait until the con is done. Because congratulations, you just fucked everybody by not telling them. And I was like,
It was a very dumb move by the anonymous source because like now you just put like a bunch of people at risk.
yeah,
Not just the two vendors,
yeah,
but you yourself too. And a lot of people are not going to take into account of that. They're just going to blame the convention and the vendors
yeah,
and everybody else that attended, except
yeah,
for the person. It's a group effort basically,
yeah,
and it was a really dumb move on both parties, in my opinion.
yeah. Because now now everyone everyone like after leaving the con, you're feeling good, you're feeling great about yourself. You miss the feeling of going to the con, the after con shenanigans where you're at home or at the hotel, driving back, and you're just having a good time and just remembering all the stuff that you did while you're at the con. Now to come wake up the next day and to be brought with bullshit like this, like no, like if
It
this
was
is if
literally the first thing I woke up to, and I was like,
Me
what?
too. I was like, huh?
I was at work and someone sent me this. I'm like, what?
It
I'm
spread like wildfire. I had
yeah,
like 3 people sending me messages. Like, I was like, huh? It's
yeah,
like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the
What
thing is, like,
happened? What did I miss?
I directly messaged the people involved because I had known them personally. And I was like, do you want to tell me something about this? Like, what's going on? And they had told me their side of the story, which I don't know if it's appropriate to say here, but the gist is that, yeah, like, like, way prior to this, they had a COVID scare. But every week leading up to Otaku Fest, they tested and they constantly tested negative. So during the week of Otaku Fest, they were negative. So I feel like this anonymous source is just twisting that information that, hey, they had a COVID scare once upon a time. Maybe they're not done with COVID, so they brought COVID to Otaku Fest. And
yeah.
just like, then again, this is just alleged because this is just from the people that are involved. But
Yeah, because it's like you have
I just know that I had barely any contact with them, so I think I'm fine.
Yeah, like when it comes to stuff like that, especially when we're dealing with COVID, you need to be, as I said, you need to be 100% honest, and you can't. And this is something that you just cannot joke about, like at all. Like you need, like nobody should be anonymous. Like people need to know who is saying this, not just we're just gonna keep it secret. We're gonna protect the identity of the person, but we have no problem revealing the identity of the two vendors. Like nah. Keep that
like,
because before sorry to interrupt, but because it's like this.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was a sexual harassment incident, right? Let's just say someone got sexually harassed at the convention. It would have been done quick. Done. That person's getting removed. Now if someone is COVID positive and we know and they have proof, let the con organizers know that, hey, this person is a potential threat. We have proof. Here's the proof. And have them, escort it out and be like, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to let you go.
Yeah.
We can't have you at the con.
There was another situation in regards to that. There was a person there that isn't so great, but unfortunately, like legally, the con can't really remove them unless they just look into the building. So it was really awkward seeing that one person there, and I'm like,
for the COVID situation, I think personally, if it's true that they have negative results, I feel like they should show their doctor transcripts of all the negative results that they have, so they can show like this isn't true. But the fact that they've gone this long without saying anything says a lot, because things say 1,000, like what they're doing now speaks a lot.
actions say more than words.
Yeah. So like for example, I'm taking responsibility because unfortunately I did have contact with it. I know who the vendors are. It's obvious. We all know who the vendors are. I did buy from their booth. I'm taking responsibility and I'm getting a COVID test on Wednesday. And yeah, I feel like everybody should take responsibility of what's going on.
Yeah.
I heavily agree.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure everyone going into the convention, wanted to go there to support, have a good time, and then, after the convention, they're gonna, be responsible and, go get themselves checked out just to make sure that, hey, I'm okay. I'm good. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone had that in their mind. Like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna, see what it's about, and then afterwards, I'm gonna get myself tested. I'm gonna get myself checked out, so that way, I'm good. I don't have to, have this huge anxiety on me, looming over me, especially with something like this, because
Yeah.
it's nah, because
I feel like
you can't just go off of just hearsay and just make a public
hmm
statement about that. Especially if it's hearsay and you don't have all the concrete evidence, and of course you're not telling the people who are these sources. Because if you're hiding the sources, that means you're hiding something. We don't know what it is, but you're hiding something. You're not being 100% honest with us. You're not being
yeah.
transparent with us.
Hmm. I can definitely agree with that, especially the fact that they have anonymous sources, but they use the two people as diversion while still hiding the sources. That's what bothered me the most. I highlighted most of his like as notes because of his context. He focused on himself and the two other people of what he personally thinks versus what actually is just going down.
hmm Um, I
Right.
think it's just like if this person, like if these people are going out of their way to respond to everybody, apparently in their DMs, saying like, "Oh, it's not true," blah blah. Just make a public post about it. Make a tweet longer, like that person did. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
not
just
that
got
hard to
word.
apologize.
I just got word that they do plan to post something tomorrow morning.
Okay,
So
that's good.
Uh,
I hope they show concrete evidence, because like this isn't a joke. This isn't just some silly flu, like another like little sickness like
yeah, this is
people
something
get.
you
This is
don't joke about.
serious stuff that people people with this like that. I hate how people think like, oh, it's just this sickness. I'm superhuman. Nothing's gonna happen to me. And then a week later, in the hospital and dying. People need to stop having that mentality. Just be responsible. It's not that hard. Tests are free and easy to like schedule. I have a test next like on this Wednesday. It's not hard. I did it this morning. It's not that hard.
mine is on Friday.
If you go out of your way to do something stupid, like just go to a supermarket, you can go get a test the same day if you felt like it. You know?
Yeah. I would say just going forward, especially with the next con coming up, like if stuff like this happens and it's starting to become more of a trend where, okay, you have people that are gonna go, and then of course you have the ones that are not gonna go, and then the ones that are not going scolding the people that are going. It's gonna make you look real suspicious, especially when you put out something like that. Like prior, you're just like, oh, people shouldn't go. You're being very demanding and whatnot. It just makes you very suspicious on your case, because it would be a little bit more believable if it's someone that advocated on going and whatnot, and then this happens. Then okay, that would be a different scenario. Then okay, it'd be a little bit more believable. But still,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna make accusations, make sure you have all your receipts, and I mean all of it. Like, especially if it's dealing with COVID, like there should be no secrecy, no identities hidden. You need to let people know who they are, so that way, one, no one gets falsely accused of anything, and of course, two, if they're going to an attended event, you let the event organizers know about these people, so that way they can take the necessary actions to make sure that, one, we can't have you in because of XYZ.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's the one big elephant in the room that I wanted to address, because that shit rubbed me the wrong way. And I read it like over and over again, and I'm just like, this shit does not make any sense, because I'm just questioning it. And then of course, talk
Yeah.
with the person to find out more information, and overall, we we're okay now. Like, I completely understand their position and whatnot on what they were trying to do. And I just said that, with something like this, you just can't just put it out there because it's going to cause a huge controversy more than what you want it to be. Like, we understand you're trying to go for this, but you're creating this whole big thing that just it's not warranted for.
Yeah, it's like I was talking to him earlier, and I'm like, you need to say something because this is the kind of stuff that gets you banned at conventions. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to develop at a point where it's like they're like, oh, this is how we get money. This is our livelihood. I'm like, okay, yeah, your livelihood is going to suffer if you keep ignoring the giant elephant bear thing in the room.
Yeah.
It's going to get to the point where word spread like, hey, these are the two dudes who had COVID and went to a con. You need to speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've personally know these people that were accused, and like they're always talking about like how their shop is like basically what keeps them going. Like it pays the bills, it does all that. And it's like the fact that what's going on doesn't take a major hit to their shop. And I feel like it's good that they're gonna talk about it tomorrow, but I just hope everything goes well and it doesn't get worse.
And of course, I don't want people to. And of course, for those that are watching and tuning in, I don't want people to blow up Otakufest like DMs and whatnot. Like, don't harass them, especially
they get it enough.
Yeah, they got it enough. Like, wait for a statement. If they're gonna say anything about it, let's just wait for a statement so that way, we hear it from them, and we hear the entire truth, and then of course we move on.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's all I got. I mean, Otakufest was a great time. Overall, I had a good time. It's just after, and then of course having hearing about news like this really ruins the mood. Like, like come on.
It's like we're doing so well.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we were definitely doing great. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but you guys have anything before we close this out?
All good things come to an end.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions that we'd like to do?
All right, sure, go for it.
Oh wait, I don't know. I was asking y'all.
Oh.
Nah, I think I'm good. I think I said what I needed to say. Waluigi?
What I can say, Otakufest was great. Hopefully everything gets sorted out tomorrow in regards to this situation. Hopefully this guy might be able to have some sense of peace and calmness, and I don't hope the worst for anybody, in my personal opinion. And if you do have positive COVID tests, please stay home, make sure you guys are quarantined, and gotta look out for your friends and family.
Yeah.
Life is short, you gotta make the best out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
My 2 cents out of this situation. The convention was awesome. Wenji and his staff did amazing. I couldn't ask for a better staff for a convention. They did awesome. Overall, my experience was great for not being at a convention like over a year. Even not being in a convention, they are still an awesome con. Still one of my favorite conventions in general, especially with what the situation's happening. But yeah, I hope everything goes well. I hope everybody stays safe, gets tested, is responsible. Because then you can go to a convention, have fun during what's going on, but still, you gotta be responsible. It's not that hard.
Right.
Yeah, I hope everybody stays healthy, everything goes well, and if, again, like what AJ said, if you do test positive, please let it be known. Tell people, whoever you were around with or hang out with at the con, like, hey, I tested positive, please go get tested yourself, and just self-quarantine.
Yeah. Too easy. Alex? Last one.
Well, I think Jasmine really summed all that I had in mind. Like, just Otakufest in itself, like, to me, was a
I want to say, but I want to say, buenas noches. Good evening to everybody.
Oh my god. Live from my back.
By the way, I will do it Sunday, not evening.
Afternoon.
It was great. I loved it. It was awesome. I was Itachi. And you guys go there. I'm going to be there. I will be there.
All right, man.
It's about the guy that.
As
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, Otakufest this year was incredibly impressive for the hand that they were dealt, as shitty as it was. And Otakufest already has a very special place in my heart because, like, last year I was kind of just doing cosplay just to do it, but now, like, because I went to Otakufest and had like great time, I was like, you know, I might take this actually more seriously. And I feel like their staff, Wenji and the rest of the team and all the guests, they were very like nice and respectable and followed most, if not all, of the rules. They were just phenomenal. And as to the people that are currently being accused of COVID or whatever, I do hope that their statement does really clear up the air and clear up the waters, and rid that very nasty shadow over.
Yeah.
For Otakufest right now, and it's unfortunate that every time Otakufest happens, something ill is always right behind it.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that Henry Cavill meme with like that Aquaman guy just coming in from behind, like smashing down.
I know.
Oh, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, that one. It's just if you do get test positive, please do tell the people in your immediate group. Because it is not the con's fault that you caught COVID.
Gotcha.
Oh well. All I gotta say.
Alrighty, well, we went on a bit longer than usual, but you know what? It was well worth it because we had a lot to say, and I'm glad that we all had a great time at Otakufest, and looking forward to the next one as always. So. With that being said, this has been episode 6 of Otakus of South Florida. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Peace. Love you guys.